Hello, my name is James Drennan, and I'm an estate planning attorney in Idaho. My law firm is Legacy Legal Services, LLC. In the next 10 minutes, I will explain 3 different estate plans. First is the do-nothing estate plan, then the will-based plan, then the trust-based plan. Next, I address some of the common fears of aging and how to deal with those issues. After that, I will provide some real-world examples of estate planning issues. Finally, I will summarize the presentation with a few short questions to test your knowledge. The bad news is that if you do nothing, there is a plan, but it's the state of Idaho's plan. Idaho law determines who gets your stuff, and that is generally your spouse and children. The first problem with the do-nothing plan is during incapacity, because your spouse or child will have to ask a judge for the authority to care for you. The second problem occurs when you die, because your estate will need to pass through probate. Probate takes about 6 months and drains money that would have passed to your heirs. Wills have the advantage of letting you decide who inherits from you and what they inherit. Wills even let you disinherit someone if you want. Wills are the only way to name a guardian for your children. If you don't nominate a guardian for your children in a will, the court will decide who takes care of your minor children if you die. Wills do share one big disadvantage with the do-nothing plan because wills also must go through probate. A trust is like a box that holds your assets, so the assets are no longer in your personal name. Therefore, your estate avoids probate, and your heirs get their inheritance within weeks instead of months. A trust can operate to care for you during your incapacity. The disadvantage is the upfront cost is higher than a will-based plan, and you need to fund the trust. There are a few special features of trusts which are not possible with the other plans. A trustee can manage a child's or grandchild's inheritance until that child or grandchild reaches an age that you determine. This is unlike a will, which allows your heirs to inherit everything at age 18. A special needs trust allows for a disabled person to maintain his or her eligibility for public assistance benefits, despite having assets that would otherwise make the person ineligible. An asset protection trust ensures your child's inheritance will pass to your grandchildren, but not your child's spouse in case of a divorce, and the assets cannot be reached by creditors. There are 3 kinds of taxes to consider when avoiding taxes: the federal estate tax, capital gains taxes, and income taxes. Now, the estate tax applies to all the assets in your name at the time of your death. If all those assets exceed $13.9 million, your estate must pay the federal estate tax. I hope this applies to all of you, but so far I've never met anyone this applies to. Capital gains tax applies if you sell an appreciated asset like a house during your lifetime. However, your spouse or your heirs get a step-up in basis at your death, so they don't have to pay as much capital gains tax when they sell those assets. Income tax is not avoidable if your heirs receive any of your retirement accounts and take out distributions. Running out of money is another common fear of aging. Healthcare for seniors is expensive and could cause a family to run out of money. I counsel clients to consider long-term care insurance to pay for the healthcare later. Otherwise, spend down your resources to qualify for Medicaid. Don't burden children. Probate is a stressful burden on children when they're grieving for the parent they just lost. That's why a trust-based plan that avoids probate is the best estate plan for most people. Age in place at home. If you don't want to go to a care facility and want to stay at home, you need to get in-home caregivers, which currently are at an average cost of $21 per hour in Boise. Please don't rely on your spouse or children to care for you alone during a serious illness, because caregiver burnout is a real issue. Your family can't spend the rest of their life caring for you full time, because most caregiving spouses die from the stress before the spouse they are caring for dies. To remain in your home as your health declines, consult with an elder care manager to maintain independence as long as possible. They may recommend home remodeling, such as grab bars in the shower and no slip hazards like rugs. You may also consider a reverse mortgage on your home for the income and to pay for in-home healthcare. Some real-world examples. In the first example, I'm not going to read these, you can read them on the screen. In the first example, the drafting attorney should check up with former clients on a regular basis to see if they have any life changes requiring an update to the estate plan. Conversely, well-written instructions to clients might avoid such mistakes. In the second example, the woman's assets were not community property because they were inherited, so she could do whatever she wanted with them, and she did. Let's do some questions to test your knowledge of the material I've presented. First question, what's the process called when the court supervises the distribution of a dead person's estate? Answer, probate. If you have a will, does it automatically avoid probate? No, it doesn't. What is the legal agreement that is like a box to hold your assets in the name, not in your own personal name, and distribute them without probate? Answer, a trust. If you died this year, 2025, would the estate tax apply to you? And why or why not? Maybe it does. Maybe you're the first person I met who it will, but it would not apply if your estate was less than $13.9 million. So don't worry about the estate tax. If your children sell your house immediately after inheriting it, why is there minimal capital gains tax? Because they got to step up in basis at your death. If you create a trust and purchase new assets later, are those new assets automatically included in the trust? No, you must transfer new assets into the trust. Thank you for your attention. Your recommendations mean everything to my business. Please tell your friends and family about me. I'm ready to protect your legacy and secure your future.